Hi everyone, it's Paola. So yes, I'm finally making a video again. I'm sure you saw me moving to Australia in my last video. Um, but now I'm kind of like obviously back into the design content for you guys. But everything's still kind of a mess, so excuse the mess behind me, excuse me. I'm kind of just like a little messy right now, still don't have a desk, literally about to get one, and it's just a lot, so bear with me. So today's video is going to be creating mood boards, best practices, my tips, like what I do personally. So let's just discuss mood boards. I actually was thinking about it and then I got a comment about it, so it seems like the perfect time and opportunity to discuss mood boards. So the first thing I always check up on and start creating mood boards on really is Pinterest. I've talked about it, you guys know this. Pinterest is great for like finding inspiration, whether that be design inspiration or like just like furniture or clothing or beauty. Like I have like a whole nail board of nail inspiration. I have so many boards on there. A lot of my stuff is like secret though, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So for my clients, I will individually create boards on there, even if I am like working with them to create a mood board, like an actual mood board, which we'll get to. I will make a Pinterest board and you can add them as a collaborator if you're working with a client, and just create like a secret board that will show like the whole project scope. This is great for working with clients because it really helps them visualize like a whole brand idea, like a whole vision for their brand. So if they want to collaborate on it, they can, and they can add like more ideas and more pictures, because it doesn't necessarily need to be like design inspiration specifically. It can just be like the entire brand itself. So one I worked on with for a client obviously had like design aspects and design inspiration that was like really inspiring to them and helped them figure out like what they wanted visually. Things like type inspiration or things just like a color or something like that that can really like trigger like an idea for them. But then also things like imagery, like what kind of imagery would this brand use? What kind of marketing purposes, like Instagram or their website, like what would they have on there? Things like that. Like if they were having events, what would their events look like? So it's very interesting to like create that exact vision for them, and you can just use Pinterest photos because it's kind of like creating an experience and creating a brand that really helps like your clients visualize what they actually want. So besides that, I also make like secret boards just in general because I don't want like all my ideas out there if they're like specific to me. So I'll make it like per project, like I do for YouTube. So I bring in pictures, like if I'm just making a YouTube video, and a lot of my stuff's like not going into my portfolio. So I use like, background photos, like for my florist shop, I use some background photos just to like have the reference point of like what this brand would be, what was the like visuals for it. So that wasn't like my photos, but I was just like trying something out as like a mock-up project. And in the florist shop branding, like in the Pinterest board, I had like type inspiration and like the type of vibe that would be, and color inspiration. So just little things, like even if the photo has like one aspect that you like, just pin it and like create like a full mood really with a mood board. Like you're really creating that full experience, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna copy this type or I'm gonna copy these colors or these images. Like some of it you can just use as a jumping off point. So I also have other boards that are like non-design specific, obviously. So I have an apartment board, and I thought that would be like an interesting theme for today. As you can see, like the half done apartment behind me. So like with Pinterest, I have an apartment board and I have it split up into sections, which really helps with organization. And I have like a lot of ideas of what colors I want to use and textures and shapes and like just things that I want to create this space that I live in like feel really me. So that's what I want to do today, showing you how to like actually create a mood board. So if you're not using Pinterest or anything, you can also just create your own from any type of images you take yourself, images you find online, whatever. You can like download them, have them, and create an actual board. So I'm going to be using like Adobe Illustrator. You can use Photoshop, you can use anything to just bring in your own photos. This would be like creating an actual board to like send to somebody as maybe a PDF. That's fine too. So you don't always have to do everything on Pinterest. Obviously, I'm just giving ideas. This is like what I do, and I also do create boards like this, like where I will create like a board on Illustrator and then give it to a client as well, so they can have more of like a condensed down version of what they exactly are looking for. Okay, so here we are in Adobe Illustrator, and you know, you can make any type of size, like it really doesn't matter for the artboard. What I'm gonna do here is I'm going to create a mood board for my like living room. So this is like, obviously I'm in my living room right now. We have like my husband's desk. I'm gonna have a desk over here. We have a couch, we have a TV, like we have a lot of different elements, but we need to like add in what the actual vibe is gonna be. So this is kind of like creating a whole visual idea for the living room, which is also like, it helps in design work as well. It doesn't always have to be design work that you're putting together in a mood board at all. You don't have to add any design work at all. It doesn't have to be any of that inspiration. Like it can literally just be like textures, colors, you know, pictures of the sky, pictures of the beach, and that can create a brand. So it's really all about what you're working on. So let's work on my living room with me. So what I love to do when I'm creating these is make like little rounded corner squares. And I always like to start with a color because it just starts bringing me joy when I make these types of things. So I go with rounded rectangle tool, and then I just start making shapes. So I like to like copy and drag the same shape as well, so it's like everything looks kind of even. You can create your boards however you want. You can make them collage style, you can make them like really messy, really. I mean, it doesn't have to be a bad thing to be messy. I like to make mine very like perfectly aligned, just because I'm that type of person, sorry. But yeah, that's just who I am. So this is kind of like a great jumping off point. So let's start from here. I have some photos that I need to bring in that are like what's already here in the living room, and then we can start adding on like the inspiration. Okay, so I have this photo that is actually the color of the couch behind me. It's like the screenshot of the color from IKEA, which I thought would be helpful because the couch is such a big part of the living room that if things aren't matching around it, it's gonna look really bad. So I'm just gonna drag the photo behind the actual shape, line it up to where I want, and make a clipping mask. And that's how we're going to put together the entire board. So there's a lot of construction right now, so just follow along with me while we do this, and then I'll come back. Also with mood boards, like you want to put kind of like a hierarchy. So obviously the couch is a bigger part of the living room, so I'm going to put it kind of highlighted over here, and I can have like a picture of the couch maybe over here. So just make sure like what's bigger in the room is going to be what's bigger on the board, or if you're doing something like that, or if you're doing logo inspiration, make sure that the logo part of it, or whatever type you're inspired by or whatever, is like a bigger part to kind of create that visual hierarchy, wow, can't talk, for yourself, and also for a client if you're sending it to them. Okay everyone, so that was all I have for you today, creating mood boards, talking about my tips, whatever. I hoped it helped you in some way. I know I've been doing a lot of stuff, like it's kind of a mess right now, but working on something like this for my living room that I wanted to make anyway was perfect to talk about, to hopefully help you in your design work, as well as any other inspiration you want to do. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Please give it a like if you did. Subscribe to me if you're not subscribed, and check out my Patreon. So let's go. I guess I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. Do you guys like my Degas behind me? My beautiful art. I change it every day. So bougie.